In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, praise be to God, and may blessings and peace be upon the messenger of God, our Master Muhammad, and upon all his family and companions. And now, by the declining day indeed, mankind is in loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds, and advised each other to truth, and advised each other to patience. Assume the pickup current value is 5 amperes. Inject 4 amperes with an injection device below pickup current. Increase to 5 amperes and check relay for pickup signal. Record pickup current when alarm appears. Decrease current to record drop-off current when signal disappears. Set relay operating time to 0 for binary output feedback. Connect relay output to multimeter set to buzzer. Close contact sounds buzzer, indicating pickup current as trip time is 0. We decrease the current until the signal disappears, recording the drop-off current value. The relay's operating time is set to 0 when testing the pickup current. The relay's output contact connects through a multimeter set to the buzzer function. If the contact closes, the multimeter buzzes, indicating a pickup current. We record this value, then decrease it until the buzzer stops recording that value. This measurement helps calculate and understand its significance. Connect the relay's output contact to a multimeter. If it closes, the multimeter buzzes. Lower the current until the buzz stops. A fault may cause current to exceed a set value. If transient, the current drops before activation, reversing the trip decision. Record the value, then decrease it until the buzzer stops. This helps us understand it. A fault can cause the current to exceed a specified value, triggering the relay's timer to issue a trip signal. If the fault is transient, the current drops before activation and the relay reverses its decision. To measure response speed, we calculate the reset factor, the drop-off current divided by the pickup current, which is less than 1. A reset factor closer to 1 indicates a more sensitive relay. If the current is less than the pickup current, even slightly, the relay should not operate. This led to the relay's timer counting down to issue a trip signal. Assume this fault is transient with the fault current dropping quickly before activation. The relay reverses its trip decision due to the fault current dropping below the pickup current. We calculate the reset factor to measure response speed. This value is less than 1, and the closer it is to 1, the more sensitive the relay. If the current is less than the pickup current, even slightly, the relay should not operate. The second test for the overcurrent and earth fault relay is the timing test. To measure response speed to current changes, we calculate reset factor, which is drop-off current over pickup current. This value is less than 1. Closer to 1 means more sensitivity. If current is less than pickup current, even by 0.001, relay should not operate. Reset factor is key for comparing relays. Second test for overcurrent and earth fault relay is timing test. First test is pickup test. Second is timing test. E.g., with trip time of 5 seconds, relay should trip after 5 seconds, not 4 or 6. Thus, ensure trip time is 5 seconds via timing test. The reset factor is crucial for comparing relays from different manufacturers. The second test for overcurrent and earth fault relays is the timing test following the pickup test. For instance, with a definite time relay set to trip in 5 seconds, it must trip precisely at 5 seconds, verified by the timing test. If the relay uses an inverse time curve, specific equations calculate the expected trip time. For a normal inverse curve, knowing the TMS value is essential. The trip time varies with current. Higher fault currents result in shorter trip times. We calculate trip times at 2, 3, and 5 times the setting current, using either the normal inverse equation or curve. Using inverse time curve equations, calculate trip time. TMS is needed for trip time. Higher fault current means shorter trip time. Calculate trip time at multiple current settings. Use equations or curves for normal inverse trip time. Use Excel sheet below for trip time calculation. Input curve type, TMS, and fault current in sheet for trip time. Since it's an inverse curve, this means that the trip time varies with the current value. The higher the fault current, the shorter the trip time. Therefore, we calculate the trip time at 2, 3, and 5 times the setting current value. We can calculate the trip time for the normal inverse either using the specific equation for the normal inverse or through the curves for the normal inverse. You can use a ready-made Excel sheet specifically for calculating the trip time for overcurrent and earth fault, which you can find below this episode. In this sheet, you can input the type of curve, the TMS value, and the fault current value, and it will calculate the trip time for you. After calculating the expected trip time at multiple settings, we inject these currents and wait for the trip time, comparing it with the calculated time to find the error percentage. For testing pickup current in instantaneous overcurrent, If the setting is high, gradually increasing the current is not feasible as it may damage the relay. We test in pulses, increasing the current stepwise and performing on-off tests until the relay operates. Continuous injection is avoided, and drop-off current testing is unnecessary. For earth fault, the method is similar to overcurrent, but tested only on the neutral. Practical tips for testing overcurrent and earth fault are available. We increase the current step by step, performing an on-off test each time to check relay operation. If the relay doesn't operate, we repeat until it does. Avoid continuous injection for instantaneous overcurrent, and testing drop-off current is unnecessary. For earth fault, use the same method as overcurrent, but test only on the neutral, not the red, yellow, and blue phases. Key tips: confirm the wire's current rating before injecting to prevent damage. If the relay doesn't operate with a higher current than its pickup, verify it's a non-directional overcurrent relay. For the earth fault, we use the same method as overcurrent. The difference is overcurrent is tested on red, yellow, and blue phases, while earth fault is on the neutral. Here are notes and tips for testing. Ensure the wire's current rating before injecting current to prevent damage. If a current higher than the relay's pickup doesn't trigger it, check settings to confirm it's a non-directional relay. Directional relays need voltage, current, and angle. Verify the output contact configuration matches for both protections. If the device won't inject current, check for open circuits with a continuity test. Ensure the wire's current rating before injecting current to prevent damage. If a current higher than the relay's pickup doesn't trigger it, check settings to confirm it's a non-directional relay. Directional relays need voltage, current, and angle. Verify the output contact configuration matches for both protections. If the device won't inject current, check for open circuits with a continuity test. A directional overcurrent relay needs voltage, current, and angle. Third, ensure the output contact configuration matches overcurrent and earth fault protection. Fourth, if the device won't inject current, check for open circuits with a continuity test. Fifth, use a multimeter to verify the output value before injecting into the relay. Sixth, if injecting above pickup current and relay doesn't operate, ensure overcurrent function is on. Fifth, use a multimeter to verify the device's output. Sixth, if the relay doesn't operate with higher current injection, ensure the relay's overcurrent function is on. Seventh, pre-test, inject balanced three-phase voltage and current to ensure the neutral current is 0. Then inject single phase on the red winding to confirm its current matches the neutral winding. Eighth, review manual and drawings pre-test. Ninth, ensure no blocking signals in the relay configuration. Seventh, perform a measurement before starting any test by injecting three-phase voltage and three-phase current as a balance, ensuring that the current value in the neutral is 0. Then, inject single phase on the red winding to confirm that the current on the red winding is the same as the current on the neutral winding, and that the angle of the red winding should be the same as the angle of the neutral winding, not 180 degrees. Eighth, review the relay manual and study the drawings before testing. Ninth, ensure no blocking signals in the relay configuration and check if a circuit breaker status is needed. 10th, if the relay reads incorrect current values, verify if the panel and injection device grounding points are the same. If so, separate them to prevent current loss. If the injection device is isolated and the relay still reads incorrectly, ensure the device frequency matches the relay's 50 Hz or 60 Hz. If the trip time is incorrect, ensure the curve follows IEEE or IEC standards. 12th, if the pickup current value is wrong, check the CT ratio in the relay against the drawing and verify it matches the normal current. If the injection device is completely isolated and the relay is still reading values incorrectly, make sure that the frequency of the device matches the frequency of the relay. If this is 50 Hz, then it should be 50 Hz. If this is 60 Hz, then it should also be 60 Hz. 11th, if the trip time is incorrect, you need to ensure that the curve being used adheres to either the IEE standard or the IEC standard. 12th, if the measured pickup current value is incorrect, immediately check the CT ratio used in the relay to see if it matches what is shown in the drawing. Also, verify if the primary CT ratio is the same as the normal current used in the relay. 13th, if you want to test the earth fault protection and you inject the current but it doesn't operate, first make sure that the earth fault protection function is on. Or is this it? If it is on, make sure that it is non-directional earth fault protection. If it is non-directional earth fault protection, make sure that this earth fault is calculated or measured. This is confirmed by reviewing the drawing. If there is a neutral winding specific to earth fault protection, it is a measured earth fault. However, if there are only 3 windings, red, yellow, and blue, and there is no winding for the earth fault or the neutral, Blue winding, no winding for earth fault or neutral. Use calculated earth fault. Disconnecting the injection device may cause it to inject the last set value, triggering the overcurrent relay. The issue is with the device, not the relay. For directional overcurrent, check polarity. Forward voltage may appear reversed. Ensure the angle between red and neutral windings is the same, not 180 degrees. Verify relay characteristic angle in settings. Consult manual for relay's angle perception. Adjust current angle, not voltage, for directional protection. The forward voltage sees the reverse. Verify winding polarity connected to the relay, ensuring red and neutral winding angles match, not 180 degrees during single-phase injection. Confirm if the relay characteristic angle is lagging or leading. Manuals may vary in describing this angle, so review them to understand the relay's perspective. Ensure you're adjusting the current angle, not the voltage angle, following directional protection principles. You need to ensure whether the relay characteristic angle used in the final setting is lagging or leading. Some relays differ in how they describe the relay characteristic angle, so you should review the manual to understand how the relay perceives this angle specifically. You must also ensure that you are changing the current angle, not the voltage angle, as per the classic concept of directional protection. And the direction and the protection, as for those that depend on it, you need to ensure that you are changing the voltage angle while keeping the current angle constant. With that, we conclude and finish this session of their series, Glory be to you, O Allah, and their greetings in it are peace. And the last of their supplication is, Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The revival of a nation indeed